Hello friends, this is Worm according to the ancient texts, and today I wanted to discuss something that has been dividing the player base of Destiny 2 more than I think it's ever been divided before. I'm seeing it on social media everywhere. You've got these two sides, both are in starch belief of what they're doing is right, and I kind of wanted to break down this argument, look at the pros and cons of both sides, and maybe make an opinion towards the end of the video. But of course, the thing that is dividing the Destiny community is whether or not players should essentially boycott Bungie, right? And when I say boycott, I mean return Lightfall pre-orders and not play the game, or whether they should keep their Lightfall pre-orders and stuff like that. Of course, this is all erupting out of the events of this week, which have been absolutely incredible, and not in a good way, right? They have been incredible. But Bungie fired 8% of its staff, or about 100 people that seem to be primarily Destiny 2 focused, like, individuals, right? They fired, the makers of Destiny and Halo music. They fired a lot of the art team, the production team, a variety of teams. And basically they said that the reason why is because Destiny 2 did not hit its projections, as in its monetary projections for the year. And that's why they had to lay off all of these people. So that's the issues. But like I said, players on media are in a tizzy. I cannot tell you how many arguments I've seen. Players will make a post about, why we should boycott Bungie or why we shouldn't, and the comments just explode with like all this mass hatred, and it literally seems to divide the community directly down the middle. And of course, whether or not to boycott Bungie. Now, I think the important thing that we do need to bring up here is there are pros and cons to both sides of this, right? And really in this video, I want to take a look at it from both sides and maybe, like I said, maybe formulate an opinion on the matter, because currently I don't have any opinions, right? This is one of the ways I kind of develop my opinions, is when I do these discussion videos like this, right? So let's first of all talk about the arguments for boycotting, which I think that these are the initial ones that I started seeing pop up on social media, is players saying, hey, we are going to return our Lightfall pre-orders and we are gonna, not play Destiny, not buy Destiny, blah, 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 whatever, right? And I totally understand the reason why. And initially, I think that's kind of the knee-jerk reaction that most players are going to go to is, you know what, like if they're going to do this, like we're going to show them exactly what we can do as players, right? And I think that's honestly something that really should happen more often. But when players are out here saying, oh, we need to boycott Destiny, we need to return our Lightfall pre-order bonuses, I think that's the pros of that. Obviously, you speak with your wallets, so to speak, right? And speaking with your wallets is apparently the only way that Bungie will listen. And we know that. And this week, Bungie has literally confirmed that to us. They have confirmed that, hey, you know what? We speak with our wallets. And so if we stop pre-ordering Lightfall and we all return our pre-order bonuses, which are to those of us who I guess have pre-ordered, because I haven't pre-ordered yet, but for those of us who have pre-ordered, if we return our pre-order bonuses, that's going to hit Bungie where it hurts. And like, you're exactly right. It is going to hit Bungie, right? But I think that something a lot of people that are saying this are neglecting to keep in mind is that the Bungie, like these decisions are made by the higher ups at Bungie. Okay. I would say, I guess, the untouchables at Bungie, people like Pete Parsons, the CEO, the CFO, like all these fancy terms for these higher ups that call the shots at Bungie, right? Like they're the people who see this. If they see, oh, all these players leaving Destiny 2, returning pre-orders, that's even less money coming in. And mind you, the reason why Bungie fired all these people in the first place is because Destiny 2 was not making money. And so if we go in here and we say, hey, you know what, like we're going to do all our returns and stuff like that, that's going to make Bungie even less money, which again, speaking with our wallets, that's a good thing. That is a good thing. But on the other hand, what is the possibility that Bungie doubles down and they say, hey, you know what, like all these people like are quitting, we don't have the money to finance, even more people, and even more people are laid off from Destiny 2. Right? Or laid off from Bungie, sorry, from working on Destiny 2. Like that's you know, one of the issues, that's one of the cons with this idea of a boycott against Destiny 2, right? And again, like, this is at a point in our lives where we got to outweigh the differences, right? You know, what, you know, do the pros outweigh the cons outweigh the pros? But of course, I want to talk about why, you know, I guess arguments for boycotting, right? Because we talked about why, or against boycotting, and we kind of already touched on them anyways. But like I said, like, if we boycott Destiny 2, if we all return our pre-orders and say, you know what, we're not spending any more money at Bungie, what does that do to the people that are left? What does that do to people like Joe Blackburn, to people like, you know, the devs that are still actively working on it? Like, does that put them in a position where they could be the ones getting screwed? Because we know, we as you know, if you live in America, maybe if you live outside America you don't know, but in America we know that the higher ups aren't going to take pay cuts. They're not gonna sacrifice their, you know, potential earnings and stuff like that, right? Like, we know that they're going to cut more and more staff until we get to a point where Destiny just isn't feasibly, you know, able to exist anymore, right? And that's something that we can't ignore as players. And it's hard because I don't like the idea of that. I don't like the idea of, oh, you know, we have to, you know, we have to keep buying, we have to keep spending money, because at this point, like, it's 50-50. Really, it's 50-50, like whether or not we are going to boycott Destiny and have success, and Bungie say, oh, you know what, like, I guess y'all are right, we're gonna have to do something about it. Like, maybe that happens, maybe they hire all these people back, or they give us what we want, blah blah blah, whatever it is, right? But on the flip side, we have to take into consideration, like, what if Bungie says, you know what, we have even less money, and now we're gonna cut more? I believe that that's the route that they would go. But there is one major hang up on that, right? The major hang up that Bungie is going to face if they were to do that, if they were to double down and say, you know what, if y'all are going to return Lightfalls, we're going to cut more people. Bungie has only one cash cow right now, and that's Destiny 2, right? And so as players, like, the ball is kind of in our court. Like, if we take away from Bungie, if we stop pre-ordering, if we return pre-orders, if we stop, you know, spending money on the game and stuff like that, like, that is a detriment to Bungie. That's going to look so bad. Like, that's going to hurt them financially, right? And it's almost one of those things, like, you know, if we do this as players and they start hurting financially, what are they going to do? They can't just cut Destiny 2 out of the picture, right? That's the only way they're making money. Marathon, it has already been stated, Marathon is not going to release till 2025. And from the rumors I've heard, people that have test played Marathon aren't enjoying it very much, right? So the ball's in our courts. If we all decide, hey, you know what, we're going to boycott Destiny 2, we're going to return our Lightfall pre-orders, we're going to, you know, stop spending silver, stop giving money to Bungie, the ball, it's really going to be up to them. Are they going to cut more staff, potentially ruining the game, which ends their cash cow, right? Or are they going to give in to players and say, okay, you know what do you want? And they're going to start listening to us. So, you know, I mean, I think that after discussing these, I think that the best route we, as players, that we could go, now that I'm thinking about it, is boycotting Destiny 2. And I don't mean not playing it. Like, obviously, like, I think personally, playing Destiny 2 is fine, because when you play Destiny 2 and you're not spending like money on it, you're not making anybody any money, right? Bungie is making their money from pre-orders, from Eververse sales, from you know, season passes, dungeon keys. They're making money through all of these other means. So you can continue to play Destiny. We as players can continue to play Destiny without spending any additional money. And that's going to force Bungie's hand. Like literally, you know, I know that, I think it was Cool Guy the other day, he did a video talking about a lose-lose situation. I would almost argue that it's a win-win situation for us. If we sit here and we boycott Destiny 2 and we say, nope, we're not going to spend any more money on it, Bungie is going to have to, they're going to have to say, oh crap, like, we are losing so much money, we don't have the ability to keep the lights on, and they don't have the ability to shut down Destiny 2. Let's just be really honest with ourselves. If they were to shut down Destiny 2, if they were to try to send a corporate message like, we'll show you who's in control, their company goes under. Destiny 2 is their only income source right now. They cannot shut it down, right? They can fire off X amount of people, you know, and they can keep firing people to, you know, save more money and more money and more money. But at the end of the day, the people who are going to hurt the most are the higher ups, because then no one's going to be there to work on the game anymore. And if no one's there to work on the game, it definitely stops bringing in money. Then their business comes to a halt. Then they go, okay, well, we got one last trick up our sleeves. We'll launch Marathon early. Well, if Marathon has a bad early launch, I mean, they're done. They're done. Right? Like, I know that we're in a difficult spot, but a boycott of Destiny 2 would, I think, in the long run, benefit players. I think that it would actually help players, like the players who stand up and say, hey, we're gonna boycott this. Because again, it's calling Bungie's bluff. If we say we are done pre-ordering Lightfall and we're done spending money on Destiny 2 until you do something, they're gonna try to call our bluff on it. And if they do call our bluff on it, they're the ones that are gonna get hurt, not us. Right? Like, yeah, we'll be without Destiny 2, which that's gonna suck. But I mean, you're gonna have multi-millionaires dropping down to worth next to nothing. Because if Bungie goes under, like all these higher ups, all these, you know, people who call themselves so intelligent when it comes to business, they're going to be screwed. I don't know. It's just, that's kind of my thoughts on it. That's where I think that we are kind of with Bungie. I think that, like I said, players are in control. Like, players have the ball in our court right now. Now, of course, the alternative action is, you know, if we don't want to boycott Bungie, like, what would that look like, right? If we don't boycott Bungie, if we continue to pre-order, like, I mean, it's still going to come out good, right? Like, here's the thing, like, I know they fired a bunch of people. I don't have any doubt in my mind that the final shape is going to be good, right? If we all continue to just pre-order, if everybody today just said, you know what, screw it, we're going to pre-order Lightfall, blah, 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 or the final shape, and we're going to spend as much silver as we want, blah, 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 I really think that it would still come out fantastic. And that's why I say it's a win-win situation. If we boycott it, Bungie is going to be forced to do something. And at that point, you know, it's not even going to be a matter of whether Destiny 2 exists. Because obviously, if we boycott it and Destiny 2 ceases to exist, that's going to suck. But also, it's going to teach, you know, greedy MFers at the top of the food chain that you don't play around with stuff like that, right? You don't play like that. And of course, if we put our money in, it's going to benefit us because we're still getting a great product, right? So yeah, like, you know, like Cool Guy, he said it's a lose-lose. The way I look at it, it's a win-win. Okay. However, I want to know your thoughts on it, right? I want to know what you think about this. I mean, we've talked a lot today. Are you going to pre-order Lightfall? Are you going to not pre-order Lightfall? Have you returned Lightfall pre-orders? Like, I want to hear your thoughts and your comments, and, you know, just have a good discussion. Like, you know, we've talked about, you know, there's this divide in the Destiny 2 community, and it's not good, right? It's not good for players to be divided, because that's what's going to cause problems in the community. And of course, as online enthusiasts, we're gamers, like we like to be online, we like to watch YouTube videos and stuff like that. It's very, very easy for us to like to pick fights. Well, oh, like, I think that we should boycott Destiny 2, and if you don't think so, like, you're just a shill, blah, 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 blah. Or the vice versa, like, oh, well, you know, I'm still gonna pre-order my Destiny 2 final shape because I actually want the existing devs to have enough money. Both sides are right. Okay, there's not a right or a wrong side of this. Okay, and both sides have a logical, legitimate reason for doing what they do. And instead of separating ourselves, instead of dividing and saying, hey, you know, it's me and I want to boycott it, and it's and them and they don't want to boycott it, or vice versa, we need to come together. We say, hey, you know what? We need to do what's best. We need to unite. Okay, it's a problem that we don't like, but we've got to figure out a way to work together so that we can still, you know, get the best product that we can and teach Bungie a lesson, right? Like I said, I think it's going to be a win-win. Now, of course, your thoughts and your opinions on the like which side is more of a win than another, that's going to be on you, right? If you think that it's better to boycott Destiny 2 and maybe Destiny 2 goes out of business, but it teaches the higher ups a lesson, that is perfectly legit and normal. I'm with you. I would like that too. But if you're on the other side, if you say, no, I don't want to boycott Destiny 2, I want to continue to support it because I don't want more devs getting fired and I want a good game. I'm right there with you. I want a good game too. I want a game that I want an expansion, DLC, whatever you want to call it, that is going to absolutely blow my mind. But it starts with your decision whether or not you're going to pre-order or boycott Destiny 2, and boycotting can be done in multiple ways. You can return your Lightfall pre-order bonus. You can just decide, hey, you know what, from now on, I'm not going to spend any more money on silver. You might, you could say, hey, you know what, I'm going to limit my Destiny playtime. Like, there's a bunch of things that you can do. And there's also a bunch of things that you can do to both help Destiny 2 without spending your money on it, right? Increasing the amount of time you play. Like, that's going to help boost the numbers. That's going to show Bungie that, hey, there are players that love playing this game, but then not spending any money on silver or pre-orders is also going to show them, but hey, people aren't buying this stuff, right? And whether or not Bungie wants to do the right thing with that data, like, that's up to them. That's nothing that we can discuss in this video. But yeah, that's it. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk so long about it, but that's boycotting of Destiny 2. Like, that's the pros of it, that's the cons of it, that's where we're going, and whatever decision you make, I think is perfectly fine, right? I think that whatever decision you make is perfectly fine. But of course, I want you to share those opinions in the comments below. Like, tell me what your thoughts are. Like, do you think that we're going to, keep you think we're going to continue a boycott of Destiny 2? Do you not want to? Like, I want to know all your thoughts. Like, what do you think about my arguments and discussions here? But yeah, of course, if you're still around and you're not already subbed, do me a favor and go down there and hit that sub button, okay? Because I know there's a couple of y'all that are probably still watching and would really help the channel out a lot. And hey, we do it daily. So yeah, that's it for me. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye for now, guys.